You know me, SDMT. We lit on a bad chick, man. We got this Super Bowl review. Huge game yesterday. A lot of stuff went down, man. It was crazy. It was hectic. A lot of flags. Tom Brady made some great plays. You know, the defense was huge. You know what I mean? Chiefs, you know what I mean? They didn't bring their best game. A lot of things didn't go their way. You know what I'm saying? Those receivers are dropping passes. Those DBs are struggling in coverage. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the best game, to be honest. It wasn't super competitive. It wasn't what we expected it to be. But it was what it was. Tom Brady gets his 7th ring. The GOAT. No cap. We already know the best to ever do it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We can't even debate that at this point. This wasn't his best performance. He had about 3 touchdowns and 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Correct myself. So he didn't light it up, but he did enough. You know what I mean? The biggest factor, you know what I mean, outside of the refs, we're going to get into that, I would say is his coaching staff. You man, Bruce Arians and his coaching staff did a great job. One of the first NFL teams that, you know, they have several high-ranking black coordinators. Their offense coordinator, Byron Leftwich, defense coordinator Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles had an excellent game plan. He helped neutralize Tyreek Hill and, you know what I mean, let those ends and linebackers get that pressure on, you know what I'm saying, Patrick Mahomes, which ended up being very key in that victory. So we got to look at that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we do got to look at it. Todd Bowles was huge. He also has 2 female coaches on his coaching staff. So Bruce Arians is he's very open-minded to, you know, giving people the opportunity that earn it and that shows they get the job done. You know what I'm saying? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers may have the best coaching staff in the NFL. No cap. We got to look at it. I just want to throw out Harold Godwin, assistant coach right there. That's another black coordinator they have. And, you know, Maral Jadifar, you know what I mean? She's one of the female coaches, and Lori Locust. So they have female coaches, they have black coaches, and they have people that are getting together, making a great game plan and going out there and help them execute, because that game, that Super Bowl, was a lot of strategy. You know what I mean? When we look at the adjustments that the Buccaneers made and the Chiefs didn't make the better adjustments. The Buccaneers actually made better adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady wasn't throwing many deep passes or situation like that, but they were setting things up so they can open up a lot of things. We saw Leonard Fournette have a huge game, and he was very key, you know what I mean, in the passing game. You know, little dumps to him, and also he had some solid runs. So them picking up Leonard Fournette was huge, just like I told y'all. All you Tom Brady meat writers, oh, it's not that big of a deal. They got Leonard Fournette. Yes, it is. He's a baller, former first-round pick, top 5 pick, star potential, and you can see it in the Super Bowl. He was super talented. The Buccaneers got him for a steal on that 1-year deal. Now, that's huge. The next thing I want to talk about is, you know, I want to get into is the congratulations, man. We got to congratulate the Buccaneers. Got a lot of topics. Make sure you guys lock into the whole video. A lot of y'all goofy as hell. I can tell if you're not watching the full video. But I got a lot of great topics. But first, I want to congratulate, you know what I mean, a lot of the guys that moved around to different teams, but they get their first ring or their second ring. We got to look at Antonio Brown, man. Antonio Brown, AB. Everybody want to hate on AB, especially white people. Y'all goofy as hell. He didn't kill nobody. He didn't run in no Capitol going crazy. You know what I mean? So AB, man. I posted on my Instagram, he got over $1 million in incentives by them winning the Super Bowl, him playing a certain amount of plays, receptions, and yards. So he got paid. Him living with Tom Brady really paid off, and his career just really went through a lot of stuff where he went through, you know, potential divorces, stuff with his kids, off the field issues with the Raiders, issues with, you know, legal issues, all the stuff he went through, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it just showed that he got blessed because he kept going. You went to his Instagram, he kept training, he kept working out. It looked very bad for a while, like he was not going to get another opportunity in the league, but he got an opportunity. He made the most of it. I think he had a few catches. He didn't make the biggest impact. A lot of people want to hate on that, but in life, we play different roles. You know what I mean? He's been the star receiver. He just needed to get on the team and get back acclimated. So at this point in his career, getting back on the team, being with, you know, a guy like Tom Brady and that team, that's just going to boost his value. So if he chooses to come back to the Buccaneers, maybe they pay him more money or he'll go somewhere else. At the end of the day, this is huge for Antonio Brown. It benefits his career a lot. A lot of you haters, man, zip it. We ain't trying to hear that. AB got a ring, and he didn't get it in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? We just going to leave it at that. Okay, Shady Mccoy, man. Shady McCoy is a good one, man. This is back-to-back rings from he leaves the Chiefs, got a ring with them, and then also got another ring with the Buccaneers. He didn't play in either of those games, but you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's a Hall of Fame caliber player that, really got a chance to get rings at the end of his career. So he ends up with 2 championship rings, and he'll go down as a Hall of Famer. A lot of people want guys to be stars in these roles, but they've been that. You know what I mean? Shady McCoy has been a star. He's been a 1,000-yard rusher, but at the end of his career, he's a guy, he's depth, and he's depth on the depth chart, you know what I mean? But he's still a part of the team. He's still practicing. He's still doing everything he has to do. So congratulations to Shady McCoy. And Dominican Sue, he had some shady plays. Those refs let him get away with punching Patrick Mahomes in the head a few times. They wasn't calling everything. All I ask, if you're going to call everything, call it down the line for both teams. Don't be one-sided. But if you're going to let them play, let them play. I'd rather you just let them play. I don't want to talk about no refs. I wish it wouldn't have been that case scenario in that game, but the refs were a major impacting factor in that game, especially on key plays where it came to interceptions they negated, or it came to leading to touchdowns before the first half. So it was a lot of huge plays. Give me a second. You know what I'm saying? I live in the hood, you know what I'm saying? I live in the hood. We got the ghetto birds. But but anyway, Leonard Fournette, man. Congratulations, Leonard Fournette, man. He went through his battles with the Jaguars. It's great to see him on the positive side of his career. You know what I mean? He's another guy that's been a star. And on the Buccaneers, he hasn't had that big of a role that he used to have with the Jaguars, especially in the season. Ronald Jones got a lot of the runs, but in the playoffs, they really went with the hot hand, which is Leonard Fournette. He's done a great job of getting quicker, more elusive, and break it, you know what I'm saying, and just being quicker, more elusive, and being more agile instead of being what he was coming out of college. We all knew him as a big bruiser, running back, just running dudes over. But he was smart enough to understand that he couldn't last that long in his career just being that bruiser. So he spent a lot of time with his footwork, his agility, his jukes, and you see him making great moves out there for being such a big back. You don't see him doing as much running dudes over as he used to. He still does it, but he likes to make people miss, so he doesn't take that pounding on his body. You can't blame him. As a running back, you want to get paid. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it, man. Antoine Winfield Jr., man. He got revenge. Antoine Winfield Jr. got revenge on Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill lit them up during the season for over 200 yards. He threw up the peace sign all up in Antoine Winfield's face and hit a flip before he scored. Antoine Winfield didn't forget, and he felt like he had to get, revenge and get him back with his own peace sign. So he hit him with the peace sign during the game. He got a penalty on it, which he should. So, you know what I mean? You can't throw it in somebody's face when they're getting up off the ground. But what I will say is, Tyreek, when you do the extras and you celebrate and you taunt in situations, you're going to get that back. That's just the way the world works. So we look at Winfield Jr. He has the last laugh right now, but I'm telling you, it's not over. I expect him to get roasted. If not next year, Tyreek ain't going to forget about that. You know what I mean? Tyreek is not going to forget. So, life is about ups and downs. You may have your moment in the sun, but it's not always going to be that way. So you got to be careful with, getting revenge and taunting players like that. Okay. Now we look at this right here. The next thing I want to get through to is the big topic. Tom Brady actually texted and apologized to Tyrann Mathieu. A lot of people, racist right wings, let's say, they were, let's call them RRWs. they were already trying to take up for Tom Brady in a situation like Tyrann Mathieu tweeted that that Tom Brady said something to him and it got him to react. They were already jumping the racial card. Oh, he didn't say that. Oh, Tyrann Mathieu's a clown. Hey, I don't know what Tom Brady said. He could have said your kid has a big head or something. We don't know what level of what it was, but we do know Tom Brady apologized after the game, and that's why Tyrann Mathieu removed that tweet. So it was a lot more to it than that. People were trying to act like he was embarrassed or something and hating on Tyrann Mathieu. A lot of y'all goofy as hell, you know what I mean? Right-wing goofy haters, you know what I mean? Can't wait for opportunity to hate on a black man. But he ends up taking it down. But what that does tell you is that it was something big enough that Tom Brady felt he needed to apologize right after the game. Because pretty much what he does, he puts a lid on this situation and it may never come out. I don't expect it to. There's a lot of mics on the field, but the NFL would never want to tarnish Tom Brady. Tyrann Mathieu, I doubt at this point he talks about it anymore. So it seems like they put a resolve on the issue at this point. But I would love to hear what happened. And, I just love to hear it. I don't care what Tom Brady or Tyrann Mathieu has to say about it because they may not want it out there. It's between those two individuals. But I would love to hear what was said, just to know what it was. You know what I mean? Because for Tom Brady to apologize, that he lost his composure and, he may have said some things that he shouldn't have said, it wasn't something small. You know what I mean? Not saying it wasn't the extreme, but it may have been something that crossed the line in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But I definitely would want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? We haven't heard Tom Brady, do nothing. And, a lot of guys and a lot of people have their mask on. When they take their mask off, we get to see who they really are. So, you know what I mean? This whole situation, we may never know. I don't think we will. Tyrann Mathieu, I doubt that he says anything. And we look at Tom Brady, we sure he's not going to say nothing because why would he want to hurt his legacy or, get that negative press on himself for whatever it was. So we look at that situation. It was a heated, competitive moment. And it was kind of BS that the refs kind of threw a flag on Tyrann Mathieu when both players are going at each other. And Tom Brady actually chased him down and kind of bumped into him. But you're going to throw the flag only on Tyrann Mathieu. You should have called thrown two penalties that offset, and people could have moved on. It shows a favoritism and a bias by these referees when they want to just allow Brady to do whatever he wants. Which brings me to the next issue. The female referee, it was reported that her son, she named Brady. It was after Tom Brady's second Super Bowl. Which is crazy. It's mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing that this lady named her son Tom Brady. We're humans. If we name our kid after somebody, you know what I mean, we have to really like them and really admire them. So for her to name her son Tom Brady, that kind of tells you that she's a big fan of Tom Brady. And as a referee, that may have been a conflict of interest, the NFL allowing her to referee that game. You know what I mean? We saw a lot of favorable calls, the Buccaneers' way. You know what I'm saying? Not even just this game, but the Packer game as well. You know what I mean? When has there been a game that the Bucs haven't been getting great calls? Or just Tom Brady? You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing that out there. You let me know, because I can't remember. I ain't saying it ain't happened, but I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? I got time today. You know what I mean? So, she ended up being a line judge. She didn't throw too many penalties, but it just kind of still shows you that they're not doing their due diligence a lot of times, making sure they have the right people out there. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think that staff did a horrible job. They should be, they should be dealt with and graded to a certain potential. So hopefully they're not the same crew in the Super Bowl next year. You know what I mean? We want to see the game. We don't want to see the zebras, and we don't want to see the yellow flags that much, especially if you're being, one-sided and biased. Because, people want to say, oh, that holding call arguable, but they were holding Travis Kelce the whole game. They were hitting him after 5 yards. Tony Romo did an illustration. He showed, oh yeah, Shaquille Barrett said Devin White said he's not going to pick away with Travis Kelce. He's just going to hit him, and he shows him hitting Travis Kelce about 7 yards. You can't hit receivers after 5. So that was a penalty right there. He wasn't even on it, but you know what I mean. But the refs were calling it. You know what I mean. A lot of people that don't know the game, they follow the ball. You follow what the broadcasters want you to see. If you know the game a lot, you don't only follow the ball. You can see the whole field. You can see a lot of other things going on, and you see what's going on. So the Chiefs didn't get many calls at all that they should have got, and the Bucs got all the cop calls and many that they shouldn't have got. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it was a horrible ref game. You know what I mean? But the Buccaneers definitely did enough to win that game. But what I want to finish on this note, hopefully you guys got to this part, this is the best part of the video. We saw a great young player, the golden arm, Patrick Mahomes, laying it all out on the field, putting his heart, his soul up. He's scrambling around, running around, going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Got a broken toe, his line missing blocks. You know what I mean? He's scrambling, going crazy, just trying to make a play, man. Just giving it all he has to try to help his team. And he's throwing the ball, falling on the ground, jumping in the sky, guys tugging on him, throwing it. He's just trying to give his team an opportunity, man. It was inspiring. And he would throw these balls, and you would think when he threw the ball, like it had no chance of being caught, but then somehow the ball just went right through his receiver's hands, hit him in the face mask, and you just see Mahomes' face just so dejected, you know what I mean? Just so let down. Like the Kansas City Chiefs receivers didn't really, you know, they didn't help Patrick Mahomes. He was out there running for his life, and honestly, that made me more of a fan because he has so much heart. And he's playing injured, and he's still trying to make a way. He could have checked out the game. He could have, you know, went crazy on his lineman, yelled at his receivers. He could have did all that stuff to be that me guy or be that, you know, I'm better than everybody guy. But he's just out there just trying to win. You know what I mean? Just trying to win. He has a lot of heart, man. He has a lot of heart. Great young man. He's the face of the league. A lot of you haters are having your moment. That's cool. You can have your moment. You know what I mean? But it's not going to last. And I will get the last laugh. You know what I mean? I will laugh last. Because Patrick Mahomes is special. He's the face of the league. He's the golden arm. He was making insane throws, jumping in the air, throwing up balls that you didn't even think would get to the receivers. And it's just going right through their hands, man. So it was definitely disappointing to see, you know, that he didn't get the best performances out of those guys. We saw Travis Kelce have some moments where they just weren't Travis Kelce level. You know what I mean? He had some drops that he doesn't normally drop. You know what I mean? We saw Tyreek Hill not able to get open, not able to be a factor. You know what I mean? And then we also saw, you know, the Chiefs not make the necessary adjustments, but at the same time, they had a hurt, you know, left tackle. So they moved their right tackle to left tackle, and they brought in another guy in, so they had line issues. So they couldn't really stop that pressure. JPP was getting off. Shaquille Barrett was getting off. And we just saw Patrick Mahomes running for his life. He ran over 400, I think over 400 yards, I'll say, in that game before his throws, which is more than, you know, his whole career, just running around, you know what I'm saying, in the pocket, scrambling, trying to throw a ball, trying to find somebody, trying to make a way, man. You see a guy trying so hard with the odds against him, and he doesn't quit, man. That's just heart right there. And I got a lot of love for Patrick Mahomes, special player. And if you're a hater, you're goofy as hell, man. That young man left it all on the field, and that's what you want out of your athletes. Win or lose, leave it all on the field. And can nobody say that Patrick Mahomes didn't leave everything he had on that field. No cap on SDMT. I'm out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on my notifications. Follow me on Instagram at SDMT619. Yeah!